We'll get started. Welcome, you guys. We're so glad to be back live on our call. So we missed you. We had a really great week last week. I hope that you had a chance to listen to the recording that Jen and I did. I think what I'll do, I'll just put in that, I'll put that link to that post into the success group so that it's there and stays consistent with that too. So we'll do that. So we'll get to a little bit of sharing, but first I want to kick it off with recognition. So a few were the same because by the time I got that leaderboard up, it was a little bit over a week. So I wanted to get back to our Thursday to Thursday recognition. So you might see a few similar things this week, but not much. So I'm really proud of the consistency. And you guys, I know it's, sometimes there just comes those days or weeks where it's harder. And I just want to tell you, like, those are the days and weeks that it's even more important for you to show up in the group, right? It really does something for you when you show up and do that check-in, even when it's not a perfect check-in, right? A lot of times it's really exciting and easy to check in when you've had a great day or you had a weight loss day. And not so easy when, things kind of got derailed or life got in the way and things happened. But do that because if you're reading the book Finish, and I hope that you are, it's just such a powerful book to fight that perfectionism mentality. But, just like that book says, it's that day after perfect, right? It's the day after perfect that we choose to show up that really matters for ourselves. So anytime you feel yourself just kind of getting off track, like chat with us. Get that support network moving in the right direction for you, but use that to your advantage to allow yourself to move forward from that day after perfect, right? And it'll help you to rebound and keep going and jump back into this. So with that, I'll toss it over to Jen to do our recognition tonight.
Okay, so on our weekly leaderboard for our check-ins, we have Amanda Sanford with 7, Marlene with 7, Mandy Dickinson 7, Dawn 7, Mary Devaney 6, Paula Brown 6, Erin Huber 6, Tina 5, Deb Adama 5, Jen Jenkins 4, Jen Jones 3, Jamie Smith 2, myself 2, Mary Ellen 2, Amy LaPierre 2, and Tiffany 2. So I just think, if we were to stack these graphics on each other, the list gets progressively longer every week with people that are showing some consistency in those daily check-ins. And I think that that goes hand in hand with this week's top bell ringers too. It's like Tina said, the more consistent we are, the more we support each other here in this community environment, the more success we're going to have, and the more we're going to get to ring that bell and put our name on this next leaderboard list. So we have, with total weight loss since joining the group, Amanda Sanford, 14 pounds, myself, 2 pounds, Erin Huber, 10 pounds, Marlene, 3 pounds, Mary Ellen, 10 pounds, Dottie Silty, 10 pounds, Liz Show, 2 pounds, and Deb Adama, 4 pounds. So I think it's, and I love the daily check-ins this week, how many said, it's working, and there's just so much excitement around the consistency and the new habits we've developed, the willingness to have a bad day and pick ourselves back up the next day, and to show that over time it works. It's a sustainable lifestyle approach to becoming a healthier version of ourselves.
Awesome. Very good, you guys. Marlene, great job being live here on the call. Congratulations to everybody. It's really fun to see that leaderboard grow. And, that check-ins, that's just the top 15 people every time. So, it's fun to see you really strive for that spot and to stay consistent with that, because out of all of those habits, that's the one that really will allow you to really see what's going on, right? To put that thought into, okay, what happened yesterday? How can I use that today to fuel a really good day? So last part of recognition, I just wanted to welcome our newest member since we had our call last. So Liz Shaw, welcome. Jared Salisbury, Rebecca Salisbury, Stacy Culp, Tracy Ross, Jamie Maurice, and Casey Calderon. Do we have anybody else that I'm missing, you guys?
don't think so.
So welcome, you guys. We're so excited to have you here. I love seeing you check in and join this and really be a part. So we're going to turn the time over to Melissa. She's got our training topic tonight, and then we'll wrap up for a few minutes, kind of talk about some things that are going well, some areas where you guys need some support, and how we're going to kind of be, what kind of content we're going to be adding to the group as we move forward. Floor's yours, Melissa.
All right. So today I want to talk about making the most out of the tracker, the handy tracker that we all got in our kit. My hope is really, I guess the goal from this is just really for you to begin to view tracking as, just a necessary part of ongoing healthy weight loss. And so I'm going to share 7 different components that I've gotten from different kind of pieced together from some of Alana's concepts that she shared that I feel like really will help us to just to be reignited, like if we've gotten off track from tracking, to just really see the value in it. Because I feel like if we get off track and we don't feel like it's a necessary part of our day, we're not going to take time to do it well, and then we're not going to see the success that we want to see. So my hope is you'll be encouraged after hearing this, and that if you are feeling stuck, if you're feeling like, okay, I've lost a few pounds, but it's not really where I want to be yet, and you feel like you're not seeing the weight loss come off as fast as you want, then there's some things that you could really pinpoint from the 7 things I'm going to share with you and think, okay, I'm going to tackle that this week. I'm going to really focus on that. And you won't feel so frustrated. You'll feel kind of invigorated and ready to take it on. So the first thing is, this seems really basic, but it's important to note, is unless you write it down, you won't see the results. So Alana's talked about how a lot of people will say, when they come in with problems, they'll say, I'm following this program to a T and I'm just not losing weight. What's going on? I'm eating it, I'm doing a perfect job with it. And she's quick to say that, there's no perfect plan, right? This isn't like the other eating plans where it's like you have this many containers, this amount that you have to eat in protein or veggies a day. It's really more about kind of tracking and weighing in and seeing how these foods affect your body. Do they make the scale go up or down? So there's really no perfect plan, like one size fits all. We're all going to have different things that are going to affect our body in different ways. So the only way to see that is to really track all of it. And just to realize that there is no, just like there's, no perfect in life, there's no perfect plan, right? So you just have to find your perfect, which is by tracking and being really consistent with it. And just to look at it as, so that's the first thing, is just unless you write it down, you won't, see the results. And the second is to look at it as a learning tool. So weight loss coming not by day to day, you're not going to see maybe such big results, but if you take it week by week, you're going to see that. That's why when we do those weigh-ins and we do the ring the bell at the 2 pounds. So just really looking at taking it step by step and not being frustrated if you don't see a change from day to day. The day-to-day activities that you're doing by tracking is going to give you feedback. So it's just designed to show you kind of what you're eating, and so you can develop and see those patterns. So then you'll know, like, okay, I lost 1 pound this week. Okay, why did I lose that pound? Why did I lose those 2 pounds? You'll see that by looking at it on a week-to-week basis. So really look at, from day to day, there's going to be days where we track really well, and then we eat well, and then there's days we track well, but we don't eat so well. But still putting it all in there is important, because you want to have a good picture for what the week is going to look like. So try not to get frustrated with yourself on those days, where you have more snacks than you anticipated, or maybe you eat dinner later at night than you anticipated. So those things, like, still keep tracking them and try not to feel like you have to judge yourself from day to day. Just see it, kind of try to zoom out and look at the big picture of it, that you're already making progress, you're already seeing some results, and just trying to step back from, okay, this day was good, this day was bad. Just try to just throw it all in the pot for the week and then step back and look at it at the end, I think that helps us because we can be really hard on ourselves, and then that's just going to lead us to, think that we need to eat more, to comfort ourselves. So just really try to kind of stick with the big picture viewpoint of all this. And then one thing that Alana mentioned that I thought was really helpful for me when tracking, making sure that if you're not finding results, if you're feeling like you're not seeing the weight loss that you want, look at your tracking and see if you're doing a lot of open-ended foods, which basically is meaning like a closed-end food would be like an apple, right? Because you can mark that's one apple. Versus if you just say, I had some grapes, like, well, how many grapes, right? There's a big difference between like a couple grapes and like 20 grapes, that you're just kind of eating. So, I mean, just really looking at like, are there spaces in your tracking where you're doing a lot of open-ended ones where they're not really clear-cut, like package size? So like 1 tablespoon of guacamole or like a whole package. Like there's so many different variations. So just really, if you're trying to really zero in, maybe look at, packaging them like in Ziploc bags or buying things that are like serving size that you can easily mark down and kind of quantify versus just leaving it open. So like a slice of bread versus like just saying, crackers or, that's just hard. And it's hard too, if you have trouble like wanting to finish something and then you see it all there, you're going to be more likely to like eat them all versus just like a set amount. So just look at that, look at how you're tracking them. And if you can do yourself a favor and really, make it more of like close-ended amount that you can keep track of so you can really see the patterns evolve, because it could be something really small that you need to change and you're so close, but you won't know you won't know which things to take out if you're not being clear about how much you're eating. So just being aware of that and focusing on quantifying that will help a lot. And keeping track of, just keeping in your mindset of like the 2 pounds at a time, not thinking that you have to lose it all, at once. So if you have like 100 pounds to lose, like Alana had, I mean, she didn't make it by thinking about, I have 100 pounds to lose, or I have 50 pounds to lose. She was just like, okay, I have 100 pounds, I have 2 pounds to lose, and then another 2 when she reached that. So try to just keep it all in perspective when you're doing all this. So just to kind of recap, there's the that you do need to keeping track of that. There's no perfect plan. And then just looking at like week to week versus like day to day, like knowing that day to day tracking is just giving you feedback. And then looking for like open-ended or eliminating the open-ended foods and looking more for closed-ended foods. Okay, so then number 5, a big thing is not tracking water. This I've been really guilty of just saying, I know I drink a lot of water, so that's great, and just, not being specific. So being careful with, it's common that we think that we're drinking enough water just because it feels like a lot of water, especially if we're not used to drinking that on a consistent basis. Maybe we've cut out like other things and are trying to focus in on water, but so it feels like a lot, right? But we might not be drinking as much as when we first started, or not up to the goal of where we can be. So drinking more water is going to help us to lose weight. Like we know that from the trainings and so forth, that we have to keep up with that. So being really, intentional about keeping track of how many ounces of water that we're drinking a day, that's going to help tremendously, and keeping us on track and accountable, and seeing like, gosh, these couple of days I did really well with that, and then I just fell off and I didn't drink as much water. So just that could be a big piece as well for you, for getting the most out of this program and with your tracking. And then looking at number 6 is looking at how many meals that you're logging in a day. And so I think this is important. We talked about this like a few weeks back about how in our culture there is a tendency for us to want to, be eating constantly, or having like our meals and then having snack, and those things all add up. And so it's not to say that you can't have snacks, but just being aware of, again, checking in, like, is this something that I need? Am I really hungry? Is this a habit? Is this really what I need to be doing right now, or can I find an alternate activity, right? Is it just kind of something that I've just used to doing? So it, even social eating, even sometimes I know, like if I'm out, with other people, I'll just start like, oh yeah, I need dessert, or I need more snacks, and I don't really need them. I'm just trying to be social and be out, and so I don't even really think about if I'm even hungry. So just being aware of that makes a difference. And if you find that you are doing more snacks when you're tracking it, then, when you look back the last week or so and you're looking and there are more snacks, then just being aware of, okay, how can you work on cutting some of those out? If you're really serious and you really want to get to your goal, just looking at that aspect as well. This one is about restaurants and travel. And I know, like, we just got back from traveling. This summertime is a big time for everyone to be traveling. And so that makes it hard, because even if we're choosing, healthier options than we used to, right? We have some great ideas from Alana about how, a different, like an Italian or like Mexican or different places, that we might go, like what are some healthier choices. So even though we're doing our part to educate ourselves and to pick some of those things, still we have to take into account that if we are eating out more often, then we're still going to be exposed to how they cook their foods, which is a lot different than how we cook our foods, with like salt and the flavoring, and like they use more butter, all those things, they all add up. So try not to be hard on yourself. I mean, if you are, there's times you still have to, eat out, you're traveling and so forth, that's fine, but just be aware that can really make your weight fluctuate and make things change. Even if on paper it looks, like steak or salad or whatever, it still looks good. It's a healthier choice, but it's still going to have extra, like a lot more extra accessories, I guess, extra things in there. So just being aware of that and trying to limit it when you can, and then just giving yourself grace the times you can't, because you can't control all the elements of how they cook it. To some degree you can, but to some you can't. So just being aware of that, that can fluctuate things. So, and then kind of like the last one is the timing, and just looking at the timing of the meals again, and looking at the time of dinners. And dinner time can fluctuate. For some people, they can do 5 o'clock. Some people that's not practical at all, and they're more like closer to 7:30 or later. So looking at, okay, maybe if you have to do a later meal, then you're able to consume more during the earlier part of the day. So then when you get to dinner time, it's not a huge meal that you're having late at night, so maybe you can modify that to make it a smaller portion, and then try to fill up more with your foods earlier. That's just a thought that you could kind of work on, because it is hard, because you're at the end of the day, you're not going to be able to metabolize it as faster before the next morning. And so Alana obviously recommends having earlier dinners if you can do that. And so I think along with later dinners is also looking at sleep and how much sleep you're getting. I know from different other test groups I've been a part of, they've looked at, challengers will all be doing, maybe they'll be losing weight consistently, and then all of a sudden they'll just stop, and they're still eating well, they're exercising, but what's changed? They're getting less hours of sleep. Even 1 hour a night, cumulative for a week, that's like 7 hours your body's missing. I mean, it really can make a difference on how your body kind of holds on to things and doesn't process things as fast. So sleep is a big thing. I know we all need more of it, it seems like, but just really being conscious of, have things change in your schedule. Maybe looking at what can you do for that? Is there a way that you can go to bed even 15 or 20 minutes earlier at night, and just kind of, build it up that way? So I think those things really, really help, and just being patient with yourself. This is all new, right? We are learning so much about the mindset shift. This is so different than so many other programs out there. And I think it's cool, because we're learning how to tune into our body and to really check in and to follow our own intuition with what we're eating and how our body's feeling. I just think that's fantastic, because we're learning that, and then we're going to be able to pass that on to like our kids, grandkids, people around us. I mean, just to just to listen to themselves more, because this is a busy, fast-paced life. And so if we can take time to really become more aware, not only is it going to help us lose weight, but just to be better in every aspect. I just think it's such an empowering thing to think about, is that we're taking care of ourselves, right? It doesn't matter if other people maybe, get stressed, they're not able to care for us. We can take that and take care of ourselves and feel good about it. So just to commend yourself for already investing the time and energy into learning this and to sticking with it is huge. And you're just going to keep getting better. It's just something that it's a skill that you're just going to keep learning and growing. And so it's not like you finish it after 1 month and you're like, that's it, I've got it. So whether you're just starting or you've been doing this for a couple months, just know that you're just going to keep getting better and better with it. And so I think it's exciting. So I don't know if anyone has any questions or anything, but I hope this will be helpful for you going forward.
It takes me a while to unmute. Awesome, Melissa. I love it. Any questions? Anything that you guys do want to talk about as related to tracking?
Are people using the paper tracker or the app? What are you liking better?
I've been using the app, and I do like it because it's quick and convenient. I do love the paper copy, I think, because of the additional information that you have there. A lot of what you talked about, Melissa, are some of those extra things, right? The timing of your meals and, some of those mental things as far as how you want your day to be, what you did for yourself, like some of those that are in the paper tracker. I really like that aspect of that too. So what about you, Marlene? What are you using as far as the tracker?
I like the app and I like the paper.
I know, why can't they do all of that in the app?
Yeah, right.
So and what Melissa said, as far as tracking my water and stuff, I used to think that I drank enough water. Mm-hmm. Until I started tracking it, and then I realized that I didn't drink even half of what I needed to.
Yeah.
And so my 2B mindset jug is wonderful, because if you fill it 3 times a day, you're going to get plenty of water, and I put lemon in it, and that's, tracking my water it has become a big thing for me.
Yeah, I think that's good. I think one thing that really hit me, Melissa, that I found too is, again, just that, do we need all the meals? I sometimes find myself feeling a little empty, because I can't get to all of the things that I used to eat, or I feel like I should have at a certain time of day, where I probably eat them more for a meal now instead of like having an extra. It's almost like I have like cut one meal, more so with the 2B mindset. So sometimes that's why I think like when it comes to snacking, it's probably more mindless for me now if I do that, because I don't really plan something for that. But, sometimes I kind of feel like I'm missing something just because of that old mindset of you have to eat all of these things and all of these meals and all of these snacks. So we're eating less times a day. Sometimes that's a little mentally challenging for me, that I'm continuing to just work on making that a habit and feeling good about that. And I think part of that's changing that relationship with food, right? Where it's not that emotional need, you're using it more to fuel your body and making it more purposeful. So I'm going to give myself a little love there and just give it some time, but, and find some of those things that work too. So.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, because think of how long we've been socialized this way. I mean, that's just to go and change it in a few months is really unrealistic. Yeah, it's going to take time.
Even talking about like what foods build around, I had a friend and she said, well, it's, every time we go on a date, we feel like we have to go out to eat. That was kind of their dating ritual, was just going out to eat, so now, instead, where they don't want to have all of that extra food or consume, a lot of those extra calories, it's like, well, what do we do for date night? So that can be challenging, but that's also exciting, right? Because you're really going to find much better relationship building activities as you explore some of those things where we can do the things that we love or spend time with the people that we love, but it doesn't all have to be built around food all of the time. So I used to feel guilty, like when I'd had family over, like I better feed them, or I better go buy a pizza or something. I always felt like I had to have food there, and I'm like, I don't have to. We can just really enjoy each other's company. But it's hard. We are so socialized like that to just build everything around food. So, but great topic. Any other questions or comments, you guys? Any aha moments in there?
Well, Melissa talked about, measuring things out. And I have found that measuring, whether it be my coffee creamer in my coffee in the morning, I thought that I was doing good, but come to find out I was adding way too much. And like my salad dressings, I always thought that I was doing good. And then when I started measuring out, I realized I was going way overboard.
Yeah. It's really interesting. Like, and I think I'll try to follow Alana's page a little bit better, because I know she's talked a lot about that, like find things that are easy to quantify, right? Instead of that elusive, oh, I had some grapes, or, oh, I had, some salad on my plate, whatever, whether it's healthier or, maybe a little bit silly, it is, I know it's, she's really talked about that. So it'll be good. We bought some things. We're going to be traveling next week. So we bought like the little individual cups of hummus and just some things. So I think it'll be kind of a good test drive for us, instead of buying bulk, to see, even though it's a little bit more expensive, as far as our weight loss, maybe it's going to really help us to just be that much better, because we can actually really quantify that. But yeah, like nut butters, that's hard for me, right? A teaspoon looks so tiny when you want that peanut butter, right? I'm like, that can't possibly be a whole teaspoon. But let's use some of those cues. And I think, we'll post a few of maybe some of the graphics and things she shared with some ideas of more of that individualized portion, or that, closed-ended food versus open-ended food. I think that was really, really key there too, especially when you're plating it and want to kind of create that visualization versus having to have some form of measurement all the time too, right? Which is kind of the great thing about 2B mindset. So that's awesome. Good. Anyone have any victories they want to share from this last week before we close up?
I'm just proud of myself.
All I can say is drink water, drink water, drink water.
That's right, Marlene. And isn't it funny? Like, I kind of feel like I hadn't fallen away from my water, but just coming back from traveling, and I think being tired and some of those other factors going into that, I was telling Jared, just like, it kind of felt like just today I was kind of caught up and felt better about how I was feeling about water, or even just like, too much information here, but just like what my urine looked like, and the coloring. And I was like, dude, I'm drinking a lot, what's wrong? But my body just obviously needed more right then. So that does make a big difference. Jen posted here, Alana said she drinks about 200 plus every day. So yeah, I mean, I think we just have to kind of accustom our body and just, allow that to be, instead of thinking, wow, that's too much, to really just try to get in a lot of those habits. So I think that's good too.
I'll just share that the STUR, S-T-U-R, water enhancers are really helping me in the afternoon when I'm tired of just plain water. Mm-hmm. And the one I'm really liking is the organic lemonade mix. So it's they come in like individual packets, so they're easy to measure. It's like a stevia base, so it's not really like artificial sugar. But I dilute it even more than what they say to. Like, it says to mix 1 packet in 16 ounces, and I mix it in like my 2B bottle, so like 30 ounces, and it gives it just enough of that lemonade flavor to help me feel like I'm getting a treat in the afternoon when I, like that used to be my Pepsi time, my drive home time. And so, 10 hours into the day, I'm sick and tired of just plain water, but STUR water enhancers are really helping me this week get back on track with my water.
That's awesome.
Can you post those, Jen, so
Sure.
we can, and where do you get them?
Amazon.
Yeah.
Amazon. Should have
You
known.
might find them in like Whole Foods or something like that, but I think Amazon's always easier to find a lot of that stuff too. So,
and see, when I start to get my sparkling, I drink that Arrowhead's come out with a sparkling water.
Yes.
And so I get my fizz from that.
Good. That's great. I think it was, I can't remember if it was you, Melissa, or maybe a different challenger, but you know, she had posted, she had a struggle with like soda and things like that, but she posted this one picture. It was this sparkling water. She put in this really fun glass, you know, put a few splashes of like fruit in it. It just looked like such an amazing drink, you know, and so like we can like do that for ourselves, you know, so it feels luxurious even to have and get that water in, right? You know, to just do some of these different things that, you know, make it fun for us. So I think that's really good. Good. Anyone else? Oh, good. Jen, do you see that, Marlene? Jen put that in the
Yeah.
comment.
No, Jared did that.
Oh,
Yeah,
Jared did that.
Jared did.
He's Johnny on the spot with that kind of stuff. Nice. Awesome. Okay, you guys, great week. Let's have a really strong week. So I am going to be fighting. So I kind of yo-yoed a little bit. So I want to ring that bell, but I got to get myself back down to where I need it to be. So let's
Just
do
real
it.
quick before we log off, mark your calendars for next Thursday, but we are going to have to cancel July 12th because all three of us are going to be otherwise committed that night. So we'll do next week the 5th, skip the 12th, and then we'll resume again on the 19th.
Right. Very good. Cool. Awesome. All right, you guys. Thanks so much. Okay, we'll see you in the group.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Melissa.
Thanks.